Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try or how much work you put in, you can never seem to accomplish your goals? You probably do all the necessary work to be successful, but you can't help but repeat failure over and over again. You may have even encountered situations where other people are doing the exact same things as you, but they're succeeding and you're not. The reason why this happens is because you are sabotaging yourself and making it impossible to achieve success. The worst part is you probably don't even know that you're doing it. But in this video, I'm going to help you clear the smoke so you actually understand why we self-sabotage, how to stop self-sabotaging, and how to use our subconscious mind to our advantage so we can stop the habits of failure and effortlessly achieve the goals that we want most. Revelation number 1. Our subconscious mind continually leads us in the direction of the images that we think about most. These consistent images become so much a part of us that we are led to them on autopilot. Now, if you've had a habit of repeating failure, this is actually great news. It means that your automatic system is working. See, if you're effortlessly led towards failure on a consistent basis, then you can be effortlessly led towards success as well if you just change the consistent images that play in your mind daily. To change where you end up, the first step is to start with where you are now. So take a moment to think, what kind of thoughts play when you lay your head down on the pillow at night? When you're in the middle of your day, when you're on your commute, what do you think about frequently? The next step is to ask yourself, do you actually want the image that you're automatically drifting towards? Or do you want the conscious goal that you choose and work towards? If you've identified that, hey, listen, I think about negative stuff on a day-to-day basis. These are not the images that I want for my life. And you've identified, hey, I want to choose something else. Then the last step here is to use what we call submodalities to enhance the image of this beautiful positive picture. To give you an example of what submodalities are, think back to one of the negative images that keep playing in your mind. How does the image look? Is it dark? Does it feel heavy? What's the sounds involved? How intense is that emotion? These are submodalities. Think of the 5 senses essentially. And the same way that you can enhance a negative image, use those same submodalities to enhance the positive image. If you're thinking about a beautiful outcome of success, freedom, how bright is the sun? How fresh is the air? How cool is the weather? If you imagine yourself on a beach, relaxing, working the laptop lifestyle, how hot is the sand underneath your feet? How big is the image? Think about it like a movie. And the more you can enhance these small details, these submodalities, that is actually what makes the image so real, so picture perfect in your mind that your subconscious believes you've already done it. You've already lived that life. And when that neural pathway is so frequently worn, your mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. And so when it comes time for you to put in the work towards a goal, you are automatically led towards this beautiful image because that path is so well worn. You can only do this by enhancing the submodalities. Revelation number 2, and another reason why you might be self-sabotaging, is all to do with preventing failure. Being scared of failure reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of how a goal-seeking mechanism actually works. See, our mind is divided up into 2 sections, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind can process around 40 bits of information per second, whereas our subconscious mind can process 20 million bits of information per second. Essentially, our subconscious mind acts as a deletion device. There are more things that our subconscious mind is forced to ignore and avoid so that it can free up bandwidth for our conscious mind to focus on. The more things our subconscious mind can delete or remove, the clearer our conscious focus. A real-world example of this is heat-seeking missiles. Heat-seeking missiles reach their target by a process of elimination and negative feedback. There are more things that the missile is trying to avoid than there are things that it's trying to hit. And our subconscious mind works the exact same way. It thrives on negative feedback. It needs to know what is not good, what does not work, what is painful, what will not get us to our goal. And so when we restrict our subconscious mind by trying to avoid failure, being scared of failure, we are actually shooting ourselves in the foot. We are making it so much harder to reach our goal because we are scared of the negative inputs. This process is also known as Charlie Munger's inversion theory, where the most effective way to actually reach your goal is to list down all of the things that would prevent you from reaching your goal. So instead of saying, I want 6-pack abs, that's the goal, you can say, what are all of the things that I must do to guarantee I would fail? Well, I need to keep eating all these donuts. I mustn't count my calories. I mustn't go on walks or runs. I mustn't go to the gym. If I can do all these things, then I'll stay fat, which means I should avoid these things. And if I simply avoid all the negative things, I'm just left with the positive thing, the one focus, the goal, which is the 6-pack abs. But our subconscious mind, heat-seeking missiles, goal-seeking mechanisms all function on negative inputs, which is why failure or making mistakes is a vital part of the process for success. Now, the thing for you to be aware of and how this works hand in hand with point number one, remember, the images we focus on most are what we are automatically led to. And so if our main intention is to avoid failure, then that becomes the main goal. If your main focus is on avoiding failure, then that becomes the main mental image. We think about how bad it would be to fail. We enhance the image, we project it forward. If I fail, then it means this happens, then I'm gonna look like this, I'm gonna feel this way. And because our focus is so much on failure, that becomes the target for our heat-seeking missile. And so to abide by our conscious mind's focus, our goal-seeking mechanism will find the fastest and the easiest pathway to reach that goal, leading you to fail, feel terrible, and accomplish the vision that you focused on most. And little did you know that your focus on avoiding failure is probably the thing that has caused you to repeat failure so much. To break the cycle of self-sabotage, you need to embrace failure and making mistakes. Change your definition of what failure means for your goals from a negative thing to a necessary part of success. And the more of these learning experiences that you can feed your goal-seeking mechanism, the faster you will actually achieve success. Which brings me on to revelation number 3, and the main reason that we self-sabotage without even knowing it. You act like the sort of person that you perceive yourself to be. And the truth is, we can never exceed our own self-image. So a question for you, when you think about who you are, do you see someone who struggles deeply and barely achieves success? Or do you see someone who's abundant and attracts colossal wins into their life without any strain? Do you replay back all the times that you failed, that you lost, that you were embarrassed, that you felt bad? Or do you see all the times that you won, that you're a big success, that you made yourself and your family proud? Your self-image will dictate the solutions you create, how effectively you can problem solve, and how quickly you can get what you want. The mistake that most people make is they identify with their failures. Instead of saying, oh, I made a simple mistake in this business, this thing didn't go the way that I thought, they say, I'm a failure. I can't achieve anything in business. Nothing works for me. Notice how often we associate our problems, our failures with our identity. The more we do this, the more we are bolstering our negative self-image of who we perceive ourselves to be. And again, it is impossible to exceed our own self-image. So if you view yourself as a failure, how likely do you think it'll be that you actually can achieve success no matter how hard you try? You are actively working against yourself. If you want to break through in your life, you need to aggressively cut out all of the limiting beliefs around you and what you're not capable of, and instead start to imagine, think, and feel the exact way that a superior version of you would feel. A thought exercise that helped me make breakthrough after breakthrough in my life is whenever I'm presented with a challenge, I will try and deal with it exactly who I am, try and come up with certain answers, and then immediately I'll ask myself a different set of questions. If I were 10 times richer, 10 times smarter, 10 times more successful, who would I be? And I would imagine that image of me. And the very next question that I ask myself is what has led to so many breakthroughs in my personal life and in my business. I ask myself, okay, with this image of this person in my mind, what would this person do instead? And by simply walking yourself through point A to point B, you'll be so surprised at the difference in thinking, the difference in feeling, and the difference in the solutions you come up with just with this one simple thought exercise. And so if you've been stuck in a negative cycle of failure after failure, then please utilize any or all 3 of these revelations, adopt it into your way of thinking, and just step back and watch how many more results you get in your life and how easily success comes to you. If you like this video and if you got value from it, hit like and subscribe and comment which point resonated with you most. I'll see you in the next video.